Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, you'll be asking yourself,
do you feel dead?
Because today we're going to be working on restarting levels and respawning your player in Unreal Engine 5. So today I'm going to show you 3 different ways that you can accomplish this, because I know everybody's games are different, and you're going to want to utilize whatever you learned in this video to work in your game. The first way I'm going to show you is just the traditional game over screen. You're going to hit restart, and you're going to restart the level. So we'll start by making the UI for the game over screen and the buttons for that. The second way, we're going to be doing a more modern way of doing things, which is your player dies, despawns, and then respawns at a set point. So I will show you how to do that, obviously, as well. And the final way is to set checkpoints and then have your player respawn at those particular checkpoints. This video was requested by somebody in the comments, so if you do have a video idea that you want me to consider, drop in the comments down below and let me know what you think. And while you're down there, like and subscribe if you like Unreal Engine tutorials just like this one. All right, let's get started. All right, we're inside Unreal Engine 5 now, and this is the the inventory UI series project. So if you guys haven't seen that, that's okay. I'll try to explain everything. But if there's anything in there that you guys don't understand, the first 2 videos covers the health component, where you can add health component to enemies, destructible items, and your player. So I will be referencing those in this video. So if you guys are slightly confused, you guys can just watch those videos there, and that goes through it in a bit more detail. But I'll try to keep it as concise as possible here. All right, so the first thing we need to do, obviously, is to create our game over screen, because that's the first one we're going to do, is the game over screen and then restart. So we're going to go into our UI folder, into our widgets folder, and we're going to create a new user interface widget blueprint, and we'll select user widget, and we'll just name this game over. We'll open up game over. I'm just going to do something pretty primitive, nothing too crazy here, just to kind of get the idea across here. So I'm just throwing a vertical box with an overlay and a border. Okay, just for the black background there. So select border. The brush color, I'll just make black with slight opaqueness here. Sorry, with slight transparency there. Make sure everything is set to fill, including the border. We'll make sure that that's just like that for horizontal alignment and vertical alignment. We'll add some text here super quick to the vertical box, and we'll just make it say, pardon me, on the overlay. And then we will just say game over. And then set the font and everything how you like. All right, just like that. And next we're gonna add a couple buttons. So we'll just add one button and then we'll duplicate it after. Button right here. Put that on the overlay as well. And for the button here, we're just gonna rename this restart. And we'll center that, and we will add top padding, probably like 500. Just get it down there, and then we'll make the image size 300 by 100. All right, we'll add some text to that button. And this text will just say restart. All right, so after we have that button, we'll just, like I said, duplicate this. So we'll duplicate, so after we've duplicated it, I saw something really funny on Blue Sky one time. Instead of somebody having a quit button, they had a button that was just called touch grass. And I really want to replicate that, because that is hilarious. All right, so we're touching some grass here. We're going to select the button, and then we'll just make the top padding 600 just to separate it there. All right, so restart and touch grass is done here. This is essentially all we need to do for the layout. We will create a quick animation, call it fade. And for the fade, we're going to add all name widgets this, and then just quickly add a render opacity track here. And after a second, we'll add another keyframe. Let's go back to the beginning and just make the render opacity 0. Okay. We'll just make sure we're outside that animation so that blue border disappears. We'll select the regular game over route here, and then we'll find, first of all, visibility. We want to be visible because we want to interact with this widget here. And then the render transform, pardon me, render opacity down here will make 0 just so it's invisible. And then up here, interaction, we want to make sure this is checked is focusable as true, because we want to focus on this widget at one point. Okay, so we'll hit compile. That's it for here. We're going to head to our graph inside this widget. We will delete the pre-construct and the event tick. We will grab restart, the button, and we're going to do on clicked, and we're going to sign on clicked. Okay, and we'll do the same thing for touch grass. Sign on clicked. So the for the touch grass event, really complicated node. It's going to take you about a day to code it, and I'm just kidding, it's called quit game. That's all you need to do. And then that will close your game altogether. Like it's the same thing as hitting escape when you preview your game. You can check quit or run in the background, whichever works for you. For the on-clicked event, for restart, all we want to do is restart the level. So we're going to first get current level name. And then from there, we're going to open level by name. And then we're just going to drag this string into this name and it'll convert it for us. So yeah, this will restart whatever the current level is that you guys are in. If you want to make a new level select or something like that, that'll be a separate UI menu and then a whole nother thing, but won't cover that in this video. So that's all you need to do here. Now we just need to add the game over screen to our player when we die. So just want to highlight this for those who didn't follow my UI tutorial series. So inside my player, I have my health component. And if I go inside that health component, I do have an event here, or a function, pardon me, for take damage. So all we're doing for taking damage, we're checking if we're dead, and then minusing our current health from our damage, and setting our new current health, and then checking if our health is 0, and if it is, we die. Okay, in our death function, we set dead as true, and then we call a event dispatcher called OnDeath. That allows us to, anybody that is implementing this component, to run a death event inside that particular actor, and then we can do different things with different actors. So obviously, like, destructibles are going to blow up, and enemies are going to die and drop, you know, money or whatever, and then players are going to do some different stuff. So in that regard, we're going to go to our player, we're going to go to our OnDeath script. Okay, so right here we have us disabling the input so we won't be able to control our player after we die. One other thing we want to add to this, actually, which runs off our player controller, is flush input, or flush player input. There it is. What this does is this basically invalidates and negates any input that is currently being received by the player controller. So if your player is holding W and then dies and then continues to hold W, when we respawn, nothing's going to happen until the player lets go of W and then hits W again to move forward. And that's the same with any input. We don't want inputs from the previous life carrying over into the new one, you know? So anyways, after the input, we are just doing some ragdoll. So we're setting the collision enabled and simulating physics for our mesh. And that will take care of that. After that, we will want to trigger our game over screens, which is happening in our HUD class here. So I've created a variable inside the player defaults here for getting a reference to our HUD and then promoting that to a variable. All right, so we will grab our HUD, and we don't have an event in our HUD yet, so let's create that now. So we'll go inside our HUD class. So keep in mind for this project, if you haven't followed along here of the series, like I said, we did all of our HUD elements inside a HUD blueprint class. So everything in here is controlling all of my HUD that appears on screen or doesn't appear on screen. Okay, so that's how I'm doing mine. So we will come out of event to begin play. We'll get a reference to our player by casting. We'll create all of the widgets for our screen, and then we initialize our health in here. So that's where we're going to run this next bit. So we're going to create a custom event. We'll call it game over. So what we should do to be responsible is we can come up here and we can bind event to game over. And now we've created an event dispatcher here, and then we will do this just so we're, you know, super responsible. So by doing this, you can call this game over thing anywhere in the game. You know, say you're doing a time trial and you run out of time, that's a game over. So it doesn't necessarily have to be tied to our player's death. But in this case, we do want something tied to our player's death. So out of HUD, we will get, we will call game over. And that'll be the default one, so that we actually call that event dispatcher, okay? That's how that's gonna work. Okay, so back in our HUD class here, when we do call game over, we are going to create widget. And that will be our game over screen. All right, and then we will promote this to a variable so that we can widget, so we can call this later and keep our thing nice and clean. All right, so yeah, just promote that to a variable. I already had one made, so I just threw mine in there. Okay, there it is. And then we're gonna drag out of there and add it to viewport so that it shows up on our player's screen. So after that, we want to grab our game over widget, and we want to get the animation that we made, which is the fade. And from fade, we're gonna play animation. All right, and then the widget, the target will be the widget itself. Okay, after the animation, we want to now change our input to UI only. We don't want to be able to control our player, but we want to be able to control our UI. So we're going to get our player controller. We're going to set input to UI, input mode to UI only. Okay. And the widget to focus on will be our game over widget because we set it to be focusable. All right. We're also going to flush our inputs here just as a failsafe. Okay, so we'll hit compile. And that actually should be all we need to do to die. So we're going to hit compile. We will test it out. I have a debug in my game where I just push 0 and I take damage. So I'm just going to use that just to illustrate that this works. And dead. And game over. There we go. So we're going to restart. And you can see we've restarted in the game, but we can't control our player. So I left that in obviously as on purpose. So to fix that, so our game is still set to UI only. So we need to set it back to game only. So we will do that because since we're restarting the level, it's reinitializing everything, so including our HUD. So we're going to add that right here. We're going to get our player controller, and we're going to set input to game only. Okay, there we go, and we hit compile, and now we'll do that again. And we will die, and we will restart, and now we still have control of our player. So we'll just test the other one too. If I die, I'm going to hit touch grass, and then it's going to quit my game. Alright, so that's the first way to do the game over screen. The next way, a little bit more fun, a little bit more modern, we're going to be doing a death, and then we're going to respawn in the level while the instance is still running. Alright, so first let's make a kill zone. So I'll do that inside my game mode here. We'll do a new blueprint class, type actor, we'll call it kill zone. Okay, open that up, and let's add a static mesh so the player knows where the kill zone is. We'll just call it death door. And we'll just select a door frame, perfect. And now we'll need to click on the default scenery. Let's add a box collision to this. We'll compile, we'll just make this a little taller, like 100 or something like that. Move it up. Love it. Okay, that's our death door. Let's go into the event graph and let's delete all 3 of these, and let's right click on death door, and we're going to get component begin overlap. Okay, so again, I showed you guys earlier that the health component is inside our player character, so we want to interact with that health component because inside this health component I have a blueprint interface for health, and that is what runs the entirety of my damage system. So this is inside health in the event graph. There's my blueprint event, or blueprint interface event, take damage. Okay, and so we're going to grab other actor, and we're going to get component of class. I spelled component wrong, didn't I? Where is it? There it is. Get component by class. The class we want is the health component. Okay, from there, we're going to drag out of there, and we're going to get that blueprint interface message, which is player take damage message. Okay, let's make that like 500. Okay, so we're getting, so it's overlapping with an actor. That other actor will be our player's health component, and then that is what's telling it to fire in this blueprint interface. Okay, so we'll hit compile. Let's place this in our level. All right, so there is our death door. One other thing you need to make sure you have in your game, obviously in your level, is a player start. Okay, so my player is going to start there. It's going to be facing the door. And let's just check it out and see what happens. So we're going to run up and we're going to die, and then, oh, there's our game over screen. So that's just showing you that this actually still works. Now we need to disable the game over screen because we're doing something totally different, which is respawning in the game. So in our HUD class, let's just go to the create widget here. Let's just break that with Alt, this as well. And just, you know, highlight this and move it off to the side, comment, and this will be game over screen. Okay, if you guys want to use that anywhere else. We are going to drag this over here and get that to work. We're going to hit compile. And now we need to respawn our player. So we are going to do that in our kill zone. Bad me. We're not going to do it inside kill zone because Obviously, you won't have a bunch of death doors spread out throughout your game there, so re-recording this here so that I can give you correct information. So yeah, you do want to have your damage actor doing the actual damage, just like we do in the kill zone here. So yeah, obviously we want to overlap, get the health component, and then damage the player or enemy or whatever it is. Okay, and we want to handle respawning in a completely different instance. So let's make another blueprint here for our respawn manager, is what we're going to call it. So BP underscore respawn manager. I want to speak to your respawn manager. Okay, anyways, we also want to put the respawn manager in the world because we need to do that to trigger the begin play. And let's make this 0, 0, and 0 just to put it at the world origin so we don't have to look at it. We're not putting anything in the respawn manager in terms of like a static mesh or anything like that. It's just going to hang out so it won't be seen by the player. We're going to open up respawn manager, and in the event graph, what we need to do is delete these for starters. We need to get a reference to our player, and we'll do a soft reference here by getting the all actor of class. And let's get BP underscore player. Oh, whoops, what did I type? That was some Mayan script right there. Anyways, BP player, we're going to promote this to a variable so that we can access the player in a second. Okay, and we obviously need our player's health component. There it is, sorry, get health. Okay, and the reason we need that is because we want to get that OnDeath event once again. So we'll just type OnDeath, and we're going to assign OnDeath. Okay, so that's going to create an event for us. Okay, and the respawn manager can also handle respawning or spawning of other things as well, like enemies or whatever. So, and on the begin play, you just want to get a reference to whatever else you need to do and then bind events based on that kind of stuff. All right, but in this regard for our player, OnDeath, we're going to drag out of there and we're going to set timer by event. Okay, this will allow us to do some, to fire off an event when this event is triggered. Okay, so let's drag out of here. And let's make another custom event, and we'll just call it player respawn. Okay, so now we can set the time between when we die and when we want our player to restart. So I think like 3 seconds is lots. We do not need to put looping on. Okay, after we trigger this event with our set timer by event, we want to destroy actor, which will be our player. So we're going to drag our player variable and plug it in here. Okay, after that, we need to now spawn our new player, so we're going to need to find the transform of our player start in order to spawn them in the right spots. We're going to have to get actor of class again, but this one is going to be player start. Okay, from the return value, we're going to get actor transform. And then we're going to drag out of the execution pin here, and we're going to spawn actor from class, and this will be our player. Okay? And we'll just plug this actor transform into the spawn transform, and now our player should spawn there. One issue that's going to come up in the video here later on is that our player is going to spawn in our checkpoint, and then it's supposed to spawn in our checkpoint, but it doesn't because there's some collision colliding, so it doesn't spawn it. So it just changed this collision handling override to try to adjust location but always spawn. And that will fix that issue. Now you can watch me flail, be like, why is it not working? But anyways, so you're probably wondering why we did this node instead of like just a regular delay. I mean, you could use a regular delay. I mean, this is probably the better option to do because you can obviously control the time and then have an event fire instead of just stopping the code in general. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to actually reset this timer so that we can trigger it again. So we need to drag out of return value and clear and invalidate timer by handle. Okay, we will clear this guy and then we will plug this into here. Yeah, we don't want to do it at the end of this because that'll completely, you know, make that whole node pointless. Okay, so that's what we need to make it work, and that's all we need to do. So in the rest of the video here, I will be doing it inside the kill zone, but this is how we should be doing it, is inside a respawn manager, and then having all of your damaging actors run the damage events. Alright, so ignore that silliness that I do in the rest of the video, and I will keep you guys going. We're going to compile, and then we're going to test this out, make sure it works. In this case, we're going to do this. Oh, we died. Oh no. And we're going to spawn back in. So you'll notice we don't have our player in front of us, and if I push F8, we did spawn in, but we can't control him. So there's two things we need to do here that I'll show you guys. The first one we'll deal with is the possession of our character. So in our player character, we're going to go to our player defaults. So in here, this is where, because remember we have the ragdoll where we disable the input. This is where you want to enable the input and disable the physics for the ragdoll. Okay, that I have running off of the begin play. All right, so the other thing I would really recommend putting in here is a possession thing. So we're gonna do that right at the beginning off the player controller. Okay, we're gonna drag out a player controller and we're gonna just type possess. Okay. And the in pawn we want to do is just self, and the reason it's just self is because if we were to simulate right now, it spawns a player in here and it's player 0. So every time you destroy and add a new player in, it's going to be player 1, player 2, and all the way up, right? So by doing it with self, we're ensuring that we're possessing the one that just spawned in. So that will help with the possession. So we're going to hit compile, and we're going to play. I'm going to die again, and you'll notice that we still won't be able to control our player, and the reason for that, it did possess our player, so now we're looking from the camera inside our player character. But the reason we can't control our player is because inside our HUD class did not get destroyed and respawned in like our player did in the last example. So our player controller, or pardon me, our HUD class has not changed whatsoever. The only thing that's changed is our player. So that means that we didn't hit a begin play on this HUD class, and it did not hit this node, which is for us to set the input back to game only. So that's why we can't control our player right now. The other thing I mentioned earlier is this value is now empty, so this HUD class won't work anyway because it doesn't have any anything that's asking for the player. It won't have any data in there to pull from. So this was severed as soon as we destroyed the player. So we need to recast and reset our input. So I'm going to copy and paste these and put them up here, and we're going to create a new custom event. Okay. There's that, and we'll just rename it respawned player. Okay, we need to call this event now, and we're going to do that in our player defaults here. So we'll go to the bottom here. After a HUD's been created, we'll just go respawned, or sorry, yeah, respawned player. There we go. Okay. There's one issue with this, and that is when our player initializes for the first time along with our HUD class, it's going to call this event, and it's going to double up on casting to our player. So we don't want to do that. So how I'm going to fix that is I'm going to add another thing right here called a gate. So a gate is exactly what it sounds like. It's going to enter the gate, and based on if it's open or closed, it will exit if it's open, but not do anything if it's closed. Okay, so we're going to start it closed. So it'll trigger this event when we first start our player, and then it'll enter the gate, but it won't be able to do anything. Okay, so now we just need to open the gate, and the way we're going to do that is down here. Move all that stuff over. Okay, when we call the game over event from our event dispatcher, this will be the first time we've died. So that will be the time we want to open this gate. Okay, and then remember that this event fires 3 seconds later because we have this set timer by event firing off 3 seconds afterwards. Okay, so we'll get a game over, we'll set our input to UI only, we'll open our gate, and then 3 seconds later we will reset our player character and then set the game mode to UI only. Okay, let's test that out now. We will die. Oh, faceplant, nice. And respawn, and we have control of our player. Everything's super cute. The other thing we need to do, you can see the health is at 0 because we didn't reinitialize our health, which is another thing inside here that happens off of event begin play, but not off of this. So we should just add that at the end here, that we will update our health, and it'll reset our health back to what it was before. Okay, that is way number 2. So the next way I'm going to show you is we're going to be keeping this the way it is. We are going to add checkpoints in, and I will set a checkpoint, I will die, and then I will respawn at that checkpoint. Okay, so to do that, all I'm going to do is open this, duplicate kill zone, we'll call it checkpoint. We'll open up checkpoint. I will change the color of the door just so it's ooh, blue looks cool. Just so it's a different color so we can just see it. We're going to rename death door to checkpoint. We'll delete everything in here except for the overlap here. So we only want the checkpoint to activate if it's our player. So we're going to come out of our other actor and we're going to check is overlapping actor. And then we'll drag out of here and we'll get player character. All right. Let's get a branch from there. Hold B, drag out of there and push B. And if we are overlapping actor, we want to just do this once. And this is where you can control in your game whether you want the checkpoint to be activated again or not. So we'll do this once, and I'm going to just right-click checkpoint and add event on component end overlap. Okay, and then I'm going to drag out of this overlapping actor up here again just because we want it to be the same as the one that's overlapping it. Okay, if we are overlapping that, which is true, we're going to hit reset. So that's going to reset the checkpoint basically after I pass through it. Okay, so after that, one thing I want to mention to you guys is this player start is made in C++. It's a part of the engine as default. If you can edit in C++, you want to change the capsule component's mobility to movable, because if you move this around the level, this has to be set to movable, but since we're editing blueprints, we can't change this value. It has to be done in the C++ editor, so I'm going to show you how to do a workaround for blueprints specifically for you blueprinters. So we're going to get player character, get actor of class, and it's going to be our player start, and we are going to destroy that actor. Okay, that way you only need one of these in your level, like I said before, and then after that we're going to spawn actor of class. And that actor of class will be the player start. Okay, for the spawn transform, we're going to grab our checkpoint, and we are going to get transform, and it'll be the world transform, and we'll plug that in. Okay, this is where you can add in some UI thing, like you know, saying checkpoint save. So you know, just for the meantime, you can do print string, and just type checkpoint saved. Oh, actually, if you guys followed along in my tutorial series for the UI thing, you'll actually have a warning system. So you can actually implement that now. You can do get actor of class, and it'll be the HUD class. And then we made a BPI interface and add warning message. And now we can just type in whatever warning we want, and it'll appear on our screen. So we'll do checkpoint saved. So if you guys want to learn that, that's also available in that series as well. So we will then hit compile, and we will put in some checkpoints. Oh, I mention this every time this happens to me. So right now my map is named untitled, and I'm pushing end, and it's not snapping to the floor. So just hit file, save current level as, and select the third-person map or whatever map this is, and hit save. And now you'll see it says third-person map, and now when I click this and push end, it'll snap to the floor. There you go. So there's a checkpoint, and I'll just make another checkpoint like over here, just to illustrate my point here, but I'll hit play. Alright, we'll test it out here, and we'll die. And I guess probably should set a checkpoint, the whole point of this. There, we'll die again after we save the checkpoint there. And we should be spawned in here. Let's have a look. Oh, okay, we didn't spawn at all, which might have something to do with the collision. Let me just check here. So I'm inside the kill zone. So right here, collision handling override. I'm just going to change that to try to adjust location but always spawn, because maybe it's colliding and doesn't want to spawn us. So we'll see if that's the case there. So we'll hit checkpoint. Oh, that looked like it hurt. Yeah, okay, that's what it was. So it's just a collision thing. And then we'll come over here. We'll hit this checkpoint. And then we'll die. Ooh, wow, that was a jump through. Ah, okay, there we go. So it spawned in again. Yeah, a little bit of a collision problem. So you could maybe adjust the spawn point a little bit if you needed to. One thing I do want to point out too, right now I have one potion in my inventory. And if I pick up some more stuff, you'll see that there's my inventory. When you die, it does not take the items with you. So yeah, it doesn't take the items with you. So what happens is you need to save those items to the game instance, so that when you make the checkpoint and or when you die, so that you can keep that stuff. So I do have a video available for you guys if you want to check that out. It's right there. I do show you guys how to pick up items, store them in here, and then take them to the next level with the game instance. So here's my next level, and there's all my items. So it's also the same idea for the checkpoint system as well. So hope you guys liked the video, and subscribe if you want some more UE5 tutorials. Otherwise, I'll see you over in the video.